You are now listening to the most talked about blog talk radio station in the universe. Walk in His ways, Impact Voice Radio. Be prepared to have your mind stimulated, your spirit elevated in ways you couldn't even imagine. Introducing your host and the mastermind behind this unforgettable experience, Furman Jackson Jr. You will not be disappointed. Let's go!
Hey, what's up, everybody? And welcome everybody to another edition of Walking This Way's Impact Voice Podcast. I'm your host, Furman Jackson Jr. I'm broadcasting live from the city of Arlington, outside Dallas, Fort Worth, and other surrounding areas. I thank everybody for tuning in with us once again on this lovely Saturday. I hope everybody had a very productive Saturday. We hope everybody had got some things done, got some rest, of course. And most importantly, that you're staying focused and you're staying truly motivated into the things that you expect, not just for the day, but also for the next coming week. So we know we're about to get ready to go into 2022. So we know that this year been flying by fast. We know we're dealing with COVID-19 and many other things been going on in our world, in our country, of course, just around the world here. But most importantly, we give God all the praise and glory because it's Him that keeps us here, keep us in our right frame of mind, and that's what it's all about. So I'm very excited for a very special episode. This, of course, is my 1 year anniversary since I moved here to the great state of Texas. I thank God for being here and truly looking forward to what He has for the upcoming year and beyond. And I also want to thank Miss Jeca Williams for joining me here on this lovely Saturday. She has great, exciting things coming up. She's actually running for judge here in the great state of Texas in Terrell County, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
So she's very passionate about what she's doing. She's been getting out in the community, really just embracing this new chapter in her life. And she runs a very important office, of course, for Justice for Peace, correct?
Right, Justice of the Peace. Yep. Justice
of the Peace. So we're going to be chopping it up here on this Q&A. Before we get started, we got Kenny Primetime Williams. We got the latest sports and updates. We know from the NBA, the NFL, we know that college football is winding down. We got the championship games coming up. Big shout out to my home state of Alabama, Roll Tide, of course. And also a big shout out to my favorite childhood team, the Dallas Cowboys. I know they play the Giants on tomorrow, so we're looking forward to get win number 10 so they can clinch the division. So, Kenny, we're ready for you with the latest news and sports update.
Welcome. I have missed everyone. Thank you for tuning in on this special edition on this Saturday afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host, Kenny Primetime Williams. Welcome. You are now in the prime zone. I'm so happy to be with you guys on this Saturday afternoon, man. A lot of exciting things been happening in the sports world. I am just overwhelmed at things to share with you, from the NBA to the NFL to the upcoming games to the COVID spreading and making some of the teams change their schedule. So we're going to get a little bit into that. But I first want to give shout out to the Mobile area, the Dallas area, the Mississippi Gulf Coast area, all around the state of Mississippi. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for just taking time and just sitting back and being here in the prime zone with me, your boy, Kenny Primetime Williams. Now, let's get into first breaking news. Urban Myers, everybody know the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars, has been fired and let go as his duties as the head coach. It was a ridiculous thing that went on up there. Obviously, they have not been having a great season as expected. But ladies and gentlemen, he went overboard. And ladies and gentlemen, when I tell you, it got to the point where the owner just said enough was enough. And he let him go. Urban Myers will release the duties. So interim assistant coach, defensive coordinator will be standing in for him for the remainder of the season. Anxious to know who will be the next head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars with the freshman quarterback, Trevor Lawrence there. We will hold on to see how things goes on with that. Now, moving on in the NFL, a couple of games have been postponed from Sunday. to Tuesday, some from Monday to Tuesday. Because of the COVID spread, a lot of players in the NFL, including the Cleveland Browns, the Baltimore Ravens, the Miami Dolphins, all have multiple players that has come down on the health protocol of COVID, and now games have been canceled and game has been rescheduled. So we're everybody, please wear your mask, be safe out there, even at a sporting event. This virus is definitely real. We're going to move on to the NBA a little bit, just to touch on the NBA. The Lakers have signed Isaiah Thomas, not Isaiah Thomas from the Detroit Pistons, but Isaiah Thomas, the new Isaiah Thomas, has signed back. He's reunited with the Los Angeles Lakers. And last night, they played the Minnesota Timberwolves, and it was his first game back, and he chipped in 15 points. And just being back in the NBA after being dismissed from the NBA for 2 years, he come back like he never left, and so I was proud to see Isaiah back on the floor, back with his former team. LeBron loved it. LeBron, AD. And speaking of AD, ladies and gentlemen, brace yourself. AD suffered a major injury on last night against the Timberwolves. He's scheduled to have an MRI on Monday, but it doesn't look good from the. I watched the game. I actually watched how it happened, and it really didn't look too good for him. So I'm just looking now to see what the MRI says, but we wish Anthony Davis to be in great shape when things come back. And the Lakers are now 15-3, which puts them in the rank number 6 for the rankings in the Western Conference Division. Keeping in the Western Conference Division, we have Stephen Curry has a new record, and it's held by him. He surpassed Reggie Miller, he surpassed Ray Allen, and now he is the best shooter of all times in the NBA. And I've never been a Golden State fan. I've never been a Steph Curry fan. But I will say I am proud of the accomplishment this young man did. He came in this year with a goal, and right now he's sticking to his goal, and everything is working good. So congratulations, Steph Curry. I appreciate you, man, and we enjoy watching you light up them threes again. Now, I pulled my hat up earlier, but I'm going to pull it back down so you can see the star right here. I love my Dallas Cowboys as well. And for all the 50,000 people that's watching, I want to be known that I am a Dallas Cowboy fan. I represent the Cowboys. So by saying that, we got a big game coming up on Sunday with the New York Giants. We're going to New York. We're going to tear things up. Things have switched around a little bit. Former Cowboy linebacker Jalen Smith is now a New York Giant on the practice squad. And rumor has it that he will play Sunday. So that's going to be very exciting to watch. We're hoping our offense come back and get back in sync. The defense is still grinding in. We're looking for more big things from rookie Michael Parsons. Trayvon Diggs is doing his thing. I'm so proud of the defense. We're going to get our offense back on track. I'm going to leave you with this. How about them Cowboys? Merry Christmas. I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. God bless you. Back to you, Mr. Furman.
Appreciate it, Ken, with the latest in sports news and updates that's taking place in the world. We know the Cowboys do play tomorrow, of course. Big shout out to the Dallas Cowboys. Big shouts to Michael Parsons, number 11. Ever since he came in his rookie year, he's been consistent. They are already comparing him to Lawrence Taylor at the position. So, but I like what Parsons said. He said it's still too early. He's just being himself, and we know he's taking it one day at a time, one step at a time. We know being consistent is very important. No matter how you feel, no matter how it may look like, you still got to stay consistent. Consistency do pay off, of course. And also, I'm very excited once again to be sitting down with the future judge, of course, Miss Jeca Williams. I thank you once again for taking time out to be your schedule. I know you've been on the campaign journey. As to late even more, because we know that time is here. So, welcome to Walking This Way Impact Wars podcast. Introduce yourself to the audience that's going to hear you for the very first time, not just for the first time, but for the near future as well.
Thank you again so much for having me. I am totally excited about being here, and I have to start by saying go Cowboys, because I truly am a Cowboys fan as well. But again, my name is Jeca Williams, and I started this race back in February with the initial filing just to get started. I am a mom. I've been a union steward before as well. I have a mediation firm. So I'm a dispute resolution mediator where I do legal mediation to help people resolve disputes and all that good stuff. So I run my firm, I teach mediation, and really connected and committed to the community. So I look forward to our conversation today, where you can learn more about me as we continue. But I'm just here for the community, do what I can to help.
Oh, most definitely. And I know that is a big role, that is a big responsibility. Much is given, much is required. And we
Indeed.
know that this role, this platform you're on, is something you don't take lightly, but it's something you take seriously, something you're passionate about, and also making a difference, striving for excellence, of course. And besides all the work that you're doing for office and things of that nature, but we know that you are human, of course. And I know you had that time of relaxation and things of that nature. So, besides the office and besides the things you're doing, who is Jeca Williams?
Oh, well, I'm actually just an average citizen in the community, committed and trying to use all of my skills, everything that I am, just to help people. I love spending time with my family. We have a family Christmas party planned tomorrow, so I'm really excited. It's going to be a bit of a hybrid because one of my daughters is out of town, so that'll be fun and different. And I'm just a hometown girl. I'm from Corsicana. A go can, I guess I could say, to all of those that may be familiar with Corsicana, small town. I was raised mostly by my grandmother and my great grandmother, and that was the biggest um, part of my life. Just the value that she brought, the old school values and things that I learned from her. I remember stories where she's actually braiding my hair and telling me stories and things. So that meant a lot to have my great grandmother. Um, I have two sisters, and I have four children, two son-in-laws, three grandchildren, and they told me I have three granddoggies, so I just kind of go with it. But yeah, I'm just a public servant. Aside from the candidacy, I just help and do everything that I can for people. So yeah.
Yeah, and that's was up right there, just that down to earth person, like that mother, grandmother, family oriented. That's something that we much need in the generation. So we know that the house is divided, of course, but seeing that family drive, that oneness and family is very important. We need more of that in this generation and beyond. And I know that you are running for precinct 2, of course. Let it elaborate on that. What is that for those who's not familiar with the precinct that you're running for?
So
Educate us.
educate us. Okay.
uh,
So precinct 2 covers, it's in Tarrant County, majority North Arlington. So it actually starts, the south border is about Pioneer Parkway, goes a little bit over toward the lake, and then just inside, just to east inside of 360 into Grand Prairie, the north area, and then South HEB, which is 183 going all the way down. So it covers a pretty good sized area. And so as Justice of the Peace, we handle civil matters. So that's where it's not criminal, but you get into a lot of your evictions, families and landlords that are having to work through the eviction process. A lot of our youth that may face truancy with problems with attendance go through the JP court as well. And then you get into your civil lawsuit matters, such as your credit cards disputes, credit cards that have gone unpaid and the debtor or the creditor is trying to collect on that. You also have car wrecks. So if you have a fender bender with someone, you need to resolve that with insurance company or with the other driver. That would go through anything that's small claims, basically. They even do mental health warrants, and the biggest thing that we should know about is an occupational driver's license. Big deal. An occupational driver's license gives you the option of having a driver's license so that you can at least get back and forth to work, to rebuild your life, put it back on track in spite of having your license suspended for some reason. So there's a process for that, which happens in the JP court. Another big one, really hot topic, considering COVID, a lot of our families are dealing with some of the symptoms from being secluded in the home, not being able to socialize as much, and having some experiences where they need support, affecting their mental health. So mental health warrants go through the JP court as well in the event that someone needs assistance and they don't realize they really need support. That process is there to help families do what's in the best interest of their family member and make decisions to get them the help they need. So a lot of things going on there. Most people know the JP court for weddings, but they do so much more than that. That's the fun part for sure.
Man, that's some awesome stuff. There's a lot of stuff to just really just get into. But you
Yeah.
mentioned something about the mental health, and I noticed when COVID-19 first hit, people being affected. The first thing you heard about people was being on quarantine, but it also affected a lot of our mental health. Not only that, the suicide rate went up. But most important, everybody more focused on being quarantined, things of that nature. But the mental health side of things, and that's something we really don't talk about as much. And just how do that mental health more actually does work? 'Cause that's my very first time ever hearing that.
Well, there's a process for it. Of course, it starts with filing and providing enough supportive information so that it can be issued. But the biggest thing to get out of this is really identifying and addressing the needs of people who need help. I have a mental health associate degree. I have two. I have one that's specifically mental health, and then another that focuses on youth counseling. So I've spent some time in my career assisting families who have acute care needs that whether they have family members that use those services. And what we have to realize and keep in mind is that identifying when people need help and supporting them through the process of getting help through local services, making those phone calls on their behalf, and just staying in touch with them to make sure that we're all out supporting everyone as best that we can in the community, because it's a big deal, especially with our youth.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And I know that, of course, you are running for judge. Of course, what inspires you to run for judge?
Oh man, well, I have been meeting in the courts for years now as a mediator, and I was approached with the idea, and I gave it some thought. Really thought about it, prayed about it, did some research, talked to people, because I take the role very seriously. Anything that I set out to do, I'm totally committed. I'm all in. And when I reflected on those times with mediation, I realized that people don't know what the justice of the peace does. It's part of why we're talking. They don't understand the role and the impact that the JP can have on their lives. So I want to really bring those resources and supports back into the court as a place of reconcile and not just reprimand, but truly giving people what they could use of value in order to move forward with their daily lives efficiently and build a healthy future.
Awesome, awesome stuff. And I like how like you said, you 100% committed. That's where we don't hear much, and that's something that really resonated with me. How we start something and then we quit, but you being committed, you want to see this thing all the way through, and that ties in. Even though you on this journey of your life, it's campaigning. What keeps you going? What keeps you going? What keeps you grinding to get to that place where you're destined to be at?
Wow, for me, that's really my makeup of who I am. I don't know how not to, honestly. My childhood, with my grandparents and my great grandmother, there was a commitment to the community. She not only did she usher at the church, but my great grandmother, will say she was 80 because I think she just stuck with that age. She was much older, but she would actually go around in the community and pick up her neighbor's laundry at 80 years old, wash it, fold it, and walk it back. She walked everywhere. And through that, I learned the importance of helping people. And she never missed a beat doing it. That commitment and the desire and willingness to serve. So it's really just an intrinsic motivation to really follow through with that principle. I couldn't imagine not. There are times that, you know, you just keep pushing through and you're reminded of why you're doing it, because it's truly what I believe I'm called to do. I'm reminded when I was a child, a teenager, and having to fight for the first time for a scholarship that I earned that was taken away from me because I didn't possess the character that they wanted for the scholarship recipients. So that was my first experience with truly standing up for something that I believe in. And then realizing that I wasn't the last teen mom, I wasn't the first teen mom, wasn't the last teen mom, and having that opportunity to help them reconsider that everyone deserves a just, fair chance in spite of the circumstances, moving forward and just doing everything that we can to support people in the community, right?
Right, and most definitely, I know we heard people say that this is the land of second chance, of course. Everybody deserves a second chance in life. We all done things. And just to go biblical for a moment, the Bible said all have sinned and fallen short. Paul said that is true. But we always striving to get better each and every day, having that support system. I know a lot of times people lack that support system when it comes to being encouraged, instead of just pointing the blame at someone or putting someone down for their circumstances. But just to have that grace, to have that mercy, because even Christ said that we should be merciful. Our Father is merciful. We got to display that mercy and grace towards other people. And then my next question is, what can people expect from you as judge if elected?
Well, I've already committed to supporting the community. So through the role, I would specifically like to provide the resources, provide the information so people can work through the process of filing their suit or work through the process of eviction, the tenant and the landlord alike. I truly believe that we have to provide information so that people can be empowered. We're having a problem that people don't show up to courts anymore. That's something that I want to change, helping them understand that we are in a position to help resolve disputes because they're not going to go away. They have long-lasting effects when we don't address them. So just creating a safe place where people can show up, just show up and share their side to give themselves a fair chance, a just chance, so that I can make decisions based on the law and with the information I have. If I only get one side because the other side fails to show up, I don't have much of a choice, right?
Right.
So just providing that information, that resources, creating a place where everyone's voice can be heard and that decisions can be made according to the law.
And most definitely. And I know in the book of Rebecca, it says, write the vision, make it plain, who also read it, run with it, and should not. And should who also read it, should run with it. And also the Bible says without vision, the people perish. We gotta have a vision in order to know where we're going. So that leads to my next question. What is your vision for Precinct 2?
My vision is to reconnect community back to the core. Simple and plain. Because being reminded that we are a public servant first, hired by the people, serving the public, and the honor that comes with that, right? That's not a sense of entitlement, because to serve is to lead, and to lead is to serve. So being reminded that this is a position of humility as we serve, but also uphold the law to ensure that everyone has the same opportunity. That's my ultimate just dream. That would be the best, to really show how the community can come and sit in the courtroom and be privy to what's going on. it's a public opportunity. Public has access. So how wonderful would it be to have session, and of course, aside from COVID, but the courtroom is packed full of people who want to know what's going on, who are involved, who are supportive, who have resources, and information for people. That would just be awesome. I would so love that.
And that will be awesome. And just to know to implement the laws that, like I said, I'm a new to Texas. I'm a citizen here, new citizen, of course. Implementing the laws, the structures, educating us on the laws. I think it's very important. A lot of times we don't take this stuff seriously. We take everything else seriously, but when it comes to knowing the laws and things of that nature, would it be more implemented on it, more like classes, for us, whether young or old, to understand the laws that we have here in Texas?
Well, I am a instructor, right? I teach for the University of North Texas. I teach for Denton ISD. So at North Texas, I teach mediation. I've taught conflict resolution and negotiation before. I teach for Denton ISD, where I teach GED classes and English as a second language to our neighbors who don't speak English very well. I've also taught professional development courses. I'm on the roster there for Tarrant County College. So any skill that I have and I can use to empower someone to help them move forward, whether it is on a job site to maintain the job or get promoted on the job, those daily life skills just with basic customer service or how to handle business, I'm all for that. So creating opportunities where I'm able to go into the schools, go to the PTA meeting, and help the families understand truancy, help them understand the effects of absentees, help them understand the importance of education. They may not be from this country, they may not be from our community or our state and not familiar with truancy and the effects on it, and what the repercussions could be of not attending school. So that's definitely a place that I want to start. And then, of course, make those changes as the community needs grow. And as I identify more opportunities, I will be the one to help with that for sure. Yeah.
And awesome stuff. And those who are listening to the near future, I hope that you connect with Jeca, of course, to learn a lot. Um, be more productive citizens here in our state, not just in our state, but just around the world. Be more educated, get more excited, be empowered, be able to take it to the next level. I watched an interview, a snippet of what Rick Ross said, the rapper people may not know. He said, go harder than you ever did before. Like, if you went harder in 2020, go hard in 2021. But for those who went hard in 2021, go even harder in 2022. We all writing our own story, ladies and gentlemen. So be inspired, be motivated, be encouraged, and also open our minds too. We get so closed-minded, but open our minds to different venues and avenues in life that we're gonna be exploring, learning, keep our minds alert. Another thing I want to ask you too, when it comes to running for office, we know people have concerns. We know people have positive, some have negative. So when you're talking to people, you're doing your campaign, what's the number one concern that you hear on your campaign journey?
Wow. Well, a lot of people are concerned that they feel like their vote doesn't matter. And I think that we have just come to feel that way based on how the system appears to be set up. We are at a place in our country where we are able to make the biggest impact that we've ever made before. The number of people in our communities that can truly affect the outcome of an election, for example, has skyrocketed. So the biggest question is, well, my vote doesn't matter, why should I vote? And it's simply this: aside from the things that we all know, oh, your ancestors fought for you to vote, all of those things that we could cliche say, right? But this is what I say. And I met a gentleman on the campaign trail. He was an older gentleman. He had retired from the military. He had been a Mason for many years. And he simply said he doesn't believe in voting. And first off, I understand. I understand where someone would say that. Because it's truly important to put yourself in their shoes and consider their experiences. So my response is simply this. The impact of one vote randomly thrown out of a window is likened to throwing a single toothpick out of the highway while driving down the street. In order for me to be in the position that I know and believe that I am designed to be in, God designed me for this role starting many years ago. I need everyone to agree with me on one day, March 1st, early election, November, election day. Just agree that you will throw your toothpick out at the exact same time in the exact same place. That is the impact of a vote. Because with that, we can change. If everyone voted same day, same time, same place, we would win this for the community. And I am just a representation of the community. And being that person to support, provide information, and make fair and just decisions. So it just boils down to, when are you going to throw your toothpick out the window? Just meet and let's do it all together.
And that's what it's all about. So in other words, it's taking that chance, believing for greater good. You know, everybody has that expectation of doing great things and really supporting you in what you're doing. And my next question is, what keeps you motivated?
Aside from my children are simply amazing. Of course, everyone says that about their children and should. But I've always have this thing I say to my children, they're all my favorite. I'm like, that can't be. Well, so my oldest daughter is my favorite oldest daughter. My middle girl is my favorite middle girl. She's the only middle girl. And then my youngest girl, that's my favorite youngest daughter. And even my son, my favorite son. And then my son-in-law, my favorite youngest son-in-law, my favorite oldest son-in-law. And I say it that way because I truly connect with each one of my children in a different space. And that makes it just that special. Some of the things that I enjoy with one is based on what we have in common or some things we like. And if I want to try new food, I know who to call. If I need help with my wardrobe, I know who to call. Just the bond that creates from that. So I told them since they were young, I am the role model. You know, I am your role model. Other people are only your role model because I allow them to be that, right? That teacher is your role model only because I chose to let you go to that school. Beyonce is only because I let you watch her on TV. So I am the ultimate role model for my children. And I hold to that, you know, I really do. Even though they're adults, I still work really hard to be someone they feel that they can come to, the good, bads, and uglies, because I've had all of those. We all have had those experiences. But letting them see me and who I am, I just treasure the times with them, so that they can be proud, have someone to look up to, and always be that looking glass, because you know the world has different ideas and perspectives about how things should go, but just being that person that's there for them is what gets me the most excited. I'm like, oh, I gotta get up again because I told my children that I was doing this. So and then that commitment to family.
And that's a beautiful thing to hear, to know, and learn today. And my next question is, we know that election time will be coming up, of course. because this time's flying by. So for those that are assisting here in Terra County, where can we go and vote?
Well, it's the first thing you want to do is make sure that you're registered, right? Everyone says register to vote, register to vote. I say register and vote. It's a two-step process. Register and vote. Yeah, I think that needs to be an entirely new slogan. Not register to vote. Register and vote. It goes together. We need both, right? So you want to go to Tarrant County Lookup for those in Tarrant County. Just Tarrant County Lookup. That very first pop-up would be a website. You go in, just type in your name and your birth date. That's the first place to go to see if you're even registered. And then after that, it'll let you know what your precincts are that represent you, where the polling places are, and all that good stuff. So you'll be able to take a look at it. And I want to remind you that your voter registration expires if you don't use it. So you registered 10 years ago, you never voted, it's expired. So register to vote, and not just at the big presidential election, right? President, he doesn't know about your school. He doesn't know about your neighborhood. I mean, we're in Texas, so we're all over the news lately. But aside from that,
I know, right?
The president doesn't know about your pothole, your street light, and the field that hasn't been cut behind your home. All of the people that make those decisions are elected officials. Those people are elected in the off year, the midterm year. There may be an election in May. Actually, there is one in May for your city council. So there's always something going on in the community where your vote and your voice matters and it counts. So I just want to encourage everyone to stay connected. I have a lot of people say, well, nobody ever told me. Well, nobody let me know. And I get it. But just to be candid, we know how to find out about the latest songs.
Oh, yeah.
Right? We know how to find out about the latest TV show. So I would really like us as a community to use that same energy to stay connected and find out about what's going on in your neighborhood, because that's really what's making the difference. I know that they're making some changes to trash pickup just south of here. They're changing their schedule from twice a week to once a week. That decision was made by elected officials. It's things that we don't think about, right? The tax assessor, elected official, helps determine the value of your property. The smallest of things, the school board helping to decide what the curriculum will look like in your neighborhood, if they're going to get computers or not, tablets, 3D printers, those decisions are made. The school board is the major, and then it trickles down. So it's important that we get involved to know what's going on, attend city council, go to meetings, something, right? Support a candidate that has ideas similar to yours. But that's what it's about, making sure you have representation that has a similar interest and a similar mindset to who you are, to ensure that it's fair and just for everyone in the community.
Yeah. And that's some awesome things. And I know that how we met, we connected on Facebook and we ended up meeting over Starbucks coffee, and the same character you have then you have now. And I appreciate that a lot, just staying that consistent with it. And also you're doing something that you're passionate about. And that's a beautiful thing. And my last final question is, I ask this all the time to my guests, legacy. We know legacy is important. What do you want your legacy to be after it's all said and done? We know we got a lot of greats went down in history. So what do you want your legacy to be after it's all said and done?
My legacy, I want it to be that I give everything that I have to help everyone every time that I can. Everyone knows they can call me 24 hours a day. I'm old school. You can call me at 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to answer the phone. That whole check your caller ID and Oh, that number's not saved in my phone, so I don't answer. I don't do that because I have this idea that I need to be accessible. What if one of my children phone goes dead while driving down the road? They get a flat tire and they have to use a stranger's phone to call me at 2 in the morning. And I don't answer the phone because it's not a number I recognize. So that's the thing about me, that I'm just there. And whatever I have, whatever tool I have, information I have, I'm there. Whatever it is, prayer, information, resources. I need to Google something. You need help to review a paper that you're writing. Whatever I can do to assist and support so that families and people can progress and move forward. It just gives me so much excitement that the smallest of things can be used as a tool and a vessel to enhance and grow someone's life. Because if you just help one person, you're really helping future generations, because they're going to teach that skill or they're going to share that information and eventually change the world.
And that's what it's all about, changing the world. And that's what we want to do, change the world, of course. And Jake, I appreciate you once again taking time out to be the schedule to join with me, keep with me on this light, lovely Saturday, of course, here on Walking This Way's Impact Wars podcast. And never be a stranger. You're welcome anytime, of course. But we want to thank everybody for tuning in here on this lovely episode today. They will be up today. The replay will be up, so you can be able to check it out in your spare time. It will be up on our YouTube channel, of course. And so you can go back, get something out of it, learn something from it, and really support Jeca on what she's really doing for this great cause, this great mission that she's doing. So once again, Jeca, how can they get in contact with you? How can they, website, number, anything that can get in contact with you?
Sure, I am totally accessible. I'm very transparent. So here's my card so you can see the spelling of my name. If it's coming in close. No, there, no, yes. Anyways, there it is.
There you go.
It's backwards.
But I see it.
Okay. So it's Jeca Williams, Jeca, and that J stands for justice, equity, compassion, and accountability. So you can remember Jeca Williams. I'm known as Jeca4Judge on all platforms. There is a contact us in the website, so you're free to reach out. I do reply. And let me know what you think. Tell me your concerns. What would you like to see different? I'm open. I want to know. It's important that our community know who I am. I want people to know me because I really believe I'm an extension of what the community is about. And most importantly, let's get concerned about others. A lot of people say, oh, I'll never use JP4. But you're the voice for someone who doesn't have a voice. The children who may end up in truancy, the person that can't see their way because they're struggling with eviction, the landlord trying to figure out what to do because they need money to pay the mortgage, to pay their life. All of those things we have to just consider having me in office. So if no one has asked for your vote, I am asking, will you please do me the honor of voting for me in March and in November to be your next Justice of the Peace in Precinct 2.
And that sums it up right there. So Jeca, once again, thank you for being on here on Walking This Way's Impact Wars podcast, of course. Like I said, keep doing great things, doing amazing things. Like I said, never be a stranger. Always welcome here on the podcast. And we want everybody to have a great, productive Saturday. Enjoy your weekend, get some rest, refresh some goals, learn some things, learn from some things, but most importantly, just be somebody great. And we'll see y'all next time here on Walking This Way's Impact Wars podcast. I'm your host, Furman Jackson Jr., along with Primetime Kenny Williams. And Jeca, once again, we thank you, we salute you. and keep doing great things for the community. We love each and every one of y'all. Be blessed, everybody. Peace.
Peace. Thanks for having me.
You're so welcome.